Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners. We've got another big night coming up in front of us on Saturday night. 11 races. We start at 5:04. The main event is race 6. That's the flashing red. But the highlight of the night, the following race, race number 7, the clash between Leap to Fame and Speak the Truth, the two-star 4-year-olds who are both aiming towards the upcoming rising sun. They're locking horns for the first time, so there's a lot to look forward to. And in this edition of Weekend Winners, we're going to catch up with some Sydney-siders, Robbie Morris and Rickie Alchin. Top Sydney reinsman Robbie Morris jumps in the hot seat to go through his drives on Saturday night, and he joins us now. Robbie, appreciate the time.
No, thanks for having me.
Fair Cruisin' Race 1 comes up with gate 4. Really good 3 starts ago. What have you made of the last 2 efforts?
Yeah, he was probably a victim of circumstances his last start. He drew ordinary and they sort of just walked through the middle stages and ripped home in a sub-27 quarter. So probably forgive that run. I thought he was a little bit plain his middle start there. He did find the front over the 2100. Probably got a little softened up. He sort of every quarter was sort of in 28 and a piece, and probably just a bit tough for him sort of rolling along in them sectionals. But he was really good last week. I thought his sectionals from back in the field were super. So he's got a good spot on Saturday night, so hopefully we can take full advantage of it.
Okay, so the initial sort of plan, are you looking for the lead again, or are you just a little mindful of what happened 2 starts ago?
No, I'm happy to aim up early. Probably just got to be a little mindful of the mid-race pressure, sort of where it's coming from, what's going on there. But if he could happen get to the front relatively easy and there's not a lot of pressure coming, I'd be happy to hold. Okay, there's no standout performer in this field. Form's well exposed. The newcomer is another Sydney horse, Rickie Alchin's horse, Life Lavros. How do you sort of rate him? Yeah, look, Life Lavros is a handy enough horse. Rickie does a really good job with his team, and you know, probably they haven't really been 2 different grades in Sydney. He hasn't really mapped up against him, but on Fair Cruisin's best form, if he found the front, he should be hard to chase. Okay, race 2. Keen to get your thoughts here on Port Prince. He's a feature race winner taking the Renshaw Cup. That wasn't all that long ago. Finally comes up with a good draw. Can he put this field away? Finally comes up with a mobile. He's not. When we looked at his form in New Zealand, we couldn't really work out why it's been 2 years since he had a stand, but we've worked that out pretty quick. He's not the greatest from the stand, but look, he comes up back in the band 4 to 2 grade, comes up with a pearler of a draw. I'll be disappointed if he don't, roll those along pretty strong and send him a merry dance. Yeah, so he's got early speed. He looks the leader from the inside, and the fact that he's back behind the gate, it all points towards him. Miracle Moose drawn on your back probably looms as a likely threat because he's going to get that easy trip. But if everything goes to plan, he can put him away. Yeah, definitely. I think he's a really good chance. Okay, let's go across now to one of the later races, race 5, Alchin. She's going well, but she's another one. Hasn't had a great deal of luck with barrier draws, and she's got to overcome gate 10 here at a mile. So it's not easy. How do you rate her? Yeah, look, she's actually going really good. She come home a really good back half last week, 4 and 5 deep. Just draws are killing her at the moment. She keeps drawing 10 and 9, and yeah, just nothing's falling in her favour at the moment. But if they go hard enough and there's a decent enough clip on, she can get home good. But just the draws are really hard for her at the moment. Okay, a couple of talented types in this race as well. Danger Zone, Classy Washington, Reason to Be, they're all going well. But if they overdo it, you can pounce late. Yeah, I definitely think she can. She's a lovely mare. She probably just needs, she sort of needs to be up there making a luck herself, or she needs a strong tempo. But with the draws being a lot of second row draws, she just hasn't been able to get up there herself yet. Okay, race 6, the Flashing Red. Keen on your thoughts with Pete Said So. Hasn't put in a bad one yet during his Queensland campaign. Are you happy with where he is right now? Yeah, super happy with him. He just probably got jammed up in behind on Black Sedance last week, unfortunately. Him and sort of Colt 31 sort of jammed up together down the back straight, and obviously Mac Da Vinci and a few others got the jump on me, big wheels and that. So I was a bit disappointed in that. We sort of had to do a little bit of work to get to where we got to, but I thought he got into a really good spot. The thing I was most pleased with is his stand and start mannerisms. He stepped like a bomb, so hopefully if he can do that again today, on Saturday night, he just needs an ounce of luck in running, that's all. He just needs to step clean, and I'm sure he'll run another bottler of a race, but I'm being wrapped with him. Okay. Just on last week's run, when you got the lead, was plan A to hold, or was the pressure just extreme from Black Sedance that you had no option but to hand over? Yeah, well, sort of they chocked up really hard down the back straight there when I elected to move, and then sort of Grant sort of rolled up inside me for a 50, and the leader kicked up underneath him, and it just made me sort of be 3 deep that whole first bend, and I looked at the sectional times actually for him, and it made me go 28.1 the first quarter, which I probably would have been happy to get there in 29.5, and I knew I had to go a little bit too far to get there. I would have been quite happy to hold. I wasn't really too concerned about holding the lead, but Leader Peter was coming pretty hard, and I turned the stick and went with him, but I thought, I didn't really know how much Black Sedans gave me at the start, and I obviously wasn't thinking that he'd sort of be out on his feet down the back. So I elected to let him go thinking I'd get a good trip. But when you look at the sectionals, with Black Sedans missing away a little bit, his run was super as well. It was just a tough task to come from where he was.
Bottom line, though, there's plenty of merit in the performance of Pete Sedso, given the work that he's had to do there last week. I've got to ask, the handicap, you happy with the 10 metres?
Yeah, I'm not. I got to say I'm quite happy with that. There's only I think from memory, when I had a quick look, there's only 2 or 3 off the front line. So, I'm happy with that. He probably deserves to be off 10 metres, and he's, a horse like him's beat Expensive Ego, and he's raced the best of the best in Sydney. He's come through an Inter-Dominion campaign where he made the final, so look, he's got to be off 10. I'm happy with that.
Yep, okay, looks a terrific chance, Pete said so. What about race 9, Oh Daddy? She's been a little up and down so far here in Queensland. She's got a tough gate Saturday night, gate 7. How do you rate her chances?
Look, another mare that I thought's run was really good last week from a bad draw back in the field, but 7's hard. We'll sort of just have to weigh it up early to see how she goes. She is very quick off the gate, but it's obviously very hard to cross from 7, so I'll just have to weigh it up early. But she's sort of been a little bit hit and miss since coming. I thought she led there a couple of starts ago, and I thought she'd be hard to beat, and she just sort of didn't get to where I thought she should have. But hopefully she seems good, so hopefully from out wide the speed can be on, and we can slot in early, and she can hopefully maybe get over the top of them.
All right, race 10, the trot, good trot race as well. Phoebe Onyx keeps getting better and better each and every start. Is the hoof right on the till?
It is, yeah. He's he's really enjoying the Sunshine State, and Adam said to me last week that he felt that if he went in front of Adele, would have made it interesting. He sort of elected to let Adele go, which I got to say I thought was the right thing to do at the time, and follow Adele into it, but he probably it sort of got its momentum built up, and then he had to drag it back. But, if he steps clean and can find himself in a forward spot, he's going really good as well.
Yeah, and that's good form, chasing Adele. Like, she clearly looks the benchmark trotter here right now in Queensland, so there's no disgrace running second behind that mare.
No, for sure and certain.
Yeah, okay. Escape the Pace. Can you tell us anything about this Sydney trotter?
Yeah, obviously got a really good record in New Zealand with Barry Purdon and Scotty Phelan. She's come to Rickie. Rickie won a standard start race with her, I'm pretty sure, a couple of weeks ago. She's actually blew a couple of the mobile starts, but I think she's pretty safe from the standard start. She's actually a pacing bred trotter. I think she's a rock and roll dance from memory, so you'd think she'd struggle more with the stands than she would the mobiles, but it's been a little bit the other way around with her since arriving. But she's in an astute camp, and her standard starts that she has she's stepped good, but I'd probably be looking, if I could step in front of her, I'd probably got to keep that jump on her.
Okay, well, a good chance there with Phoebe Onyx, and you've picked up a drive in the last race on Saturday night. Sail Along Sinbad, a winner at Marburg. This is the Marburg to Albion final. How do you rate this guy's chances?
Yeah, look, I haven't had a good look, to be honest, but I think we should, probably a tricky draw, and they say these races can be keenly contested in the early stages, so hopefully there's a bit of speed on, and we can get a good trip, but hopefully the last start winner, so hopefully we can do something with it.
All right, so some really good drives there for you on Saturday night. Which one are you most looking forward to?
It's hard. Obviously, Pete said so, my favourite, but I'm looking forward to Porter Prince getting back into his comfort zone. He's been super consistent since coming over from New Zealand. I think he's a really nice horse going forward. I'm looking forward to him getting back to the mobile. Okay,
race 2, number 1, Porter Prince. Hey, Robbie, really appreciate the time, and we'll see you trackside Saturday night.
Thanks for having me.
Rickie Alchin has arrived safely in Brisbane. It's this time of year when Rickie normally heads north, and he's found his way to sunny Queensland, and he's brought himself a very strong team. A number of those members are stepping out on Saturday night. Rickie, good to see you.
Thanks, Chris. Great to be back up here.
Race 1 Saturday night, Life Lavros. We've seen this horse previously. What are the expectations here in the first on Saturday night?
Look, he's only just arrived from Ash Greaves in the last couple of days, so I haven't had the horse long, but when I had him up here a couple of years ago, I really liked him. He was a lovely little horse, and I thought he'd do a great job. He had a slight injury and he's been out for a while, but he worked quite nice this morning, and I think he'd be a horse to follow.
Okay, so whatever he does on Saturday night, we'll keep following him then?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a horse that we can sort of place in the veterans races and a few races like that, and he should do a good job.
Okay, so with gate 6 on Saturday night and being fresh up, likely to go back?
Yeah, we'll just see. Michelle Phillips, she's going to drive him, and I'll just let her do whatever she wants on him. He can be her horse.
Okay, well, that's Life Lavros in race number 1. Let's go across to race number 4. This race for the mares. Come Say Hi. She went very close last week. Probably a little disappointed that she got beaten, but still, it was a really good effort.
Yeah, she just had to do that little bit of extra work early to find the rails, and then she over-raced a little bit through the middle, but she only narrowly got beaten. And same thing, she's a mare that placed right up here. She should be able to pick up a few races.
Just looking at her last week, she's a happy horse right now. She looks terrific in the coat.
Yeah, she looks really well and she's fit, and the barrier draw there on Saturday night does hurt, but she has got a good turn of foot, and if she can settle, she'll be running home. Are
you wanting pace on in this race?
I always love pace on.
Yep. Okay, so she's capable, if they sort of overdo it, that she can get over the top of them?
Definitely. I mean, it's hard to come from back in the field if they go slow in any race, but she's definitely in a happy place and she's going well.
Okay, is there any sort of particular target for her during this campaign in Brisbane?
Not really. Look, this season will pull her up. She'll go to the breeding barn at the end of this season, so we'd like to get her earnings up over 100,000 for the owners, and she'll retire. So we'll just try and place her and space her runs where we can.
Okay. Speaking of mares, we go across to race 8, Soho Rhapsody. She's now a 4-year-old. She contested the Oaks Features last year when she was here in Brisbane. She looks really well placed here. Yeah,
look, she's a filly that never ever draws very well, even last year in all the Oaks, but her runs have been really good. Very disappointed we didn't qualify for the regional finals at Menangle, but she went a 53 closing half and really hit the line strong. So look, she's another filly that's probably, she's could, step up and go into the feature mares races if things went to plan. She has got that sort of ability, so she'll have to win that on Saturday to be aiming at races like that.
Okay, has she travelled up well and settled in nicely?
Yeah, look, she's done a fair bit of travelling now, that little filly. She's quite easy going. She never stresses herself too much, so she seems well.
Okay, tell me this, when the fields first came out and you laid eyes on this race, did you think she was the class runner of that field?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, she definitely is.
Okay. And the other key runner for you on Saturday night in the trot race 10, this promises to be a good race. Funny Face first up and Escape the Pace travels up here for you. The Great Square, could that be a logical target for Escape the Pace?
Potentially. We're just going to take it one step at a time and see how she goes. She's not long ago travelled across from New Zealand, and now she's travelled to Queensland, different climates and things like that. So, look, we'll just take it as it comes, but if she's going right at the right time, yes, that is a target.
Okay, now tell me if I'm wrong here, but when you look at her recent form charts, is she better suited from the stand compared to the mobile?
It's taken me a little while to get to know her. She's a quirky filly. The first night I had her, she was pretty hot, and then from the mobile, and then she stepped very well from the stand and never looked like getting beat at Menangle. So, I'd like to see her do that again on Saturday, and they'll definitely know she's there.
Okay, and whatever she does on Saturday, there's still a little bit still to come?
Yeah, look, like I said, it's taken me a month to actually probably, get to know her and her traits, and now we know how to work around her. Hopefully that she gets a bit more reliable and consistent.
Okay, which one are you most confident about there on Saturday night?
Oh, look, I really like Soho Rhapsody. She's a really nice filly, and she looks well placed there.
Okay, that's race 8, number 6. I've got to ask, Tardelli, we're yet to see him as a 3-year-old. You gave him a fairly searching trial on Wednesday night at Redcliffe. Are you happy with him right now?
Yeah, I am. I would have liked to have had like a fast class trial or something there with him yesterday for something to go with him, because he sort of only does what he has to. But, he went a 55.9 mile and just out on his own, and, he improved from his first trial at Menangle, and he'll definitely improve from that one again. So, he's right where I want him. Hopefully we can get him through to the final of the Redcliffe Sales race, and he should be cherry ripe by the time that comes around.
What about any news on a Rising Sun invitation?
Oh, like I've said to you before on radio, if that come ahead, I'm sure the owners would jump at it, but we're taking it one step at a time. He hasn't raced for 12 months. I'd love for him to get through this Redcliffe Race Series. You know, if he comes out and happens to win that and looks good, well, yeah, definitely we'll go to the Rising Sun.
All right, great to see you here back in Queensland again. Hopefully good success for you over the next couple of months, and hopefully it starts Saturday night with Soho Rhapsody and Race 8. Rickie, great to see you.
No worries. Thanks, Chris.
A big thanks to both Robbie and Rickie. We wish them the very best of luck there on Saturday night with their engagements, and hopefully the form of the Sydney Siders will be better than the footballers on Wednesday night. Time now for a good gamble. I'm going to go with one of the Sydney Siders. I like the push that Robbie Morris gave for Port au Prince in race 2. Importantly, he's back behind the mobile, lands the inside gate. He can go all the way. He certainly looms as the best bet for mine. There's a few others there that might go off at short odds, but I think he is the best bet. Race 2, number 1, Port au Prince. So we look forward to the big night coming through on Saturday night. Flashing red race night, the first of 11 at 5:04.